Now you can either use the quick buttons to auto-magically select the subject in your image or remove the background, or simply use the usual selection tools to select the part of the image that you want to replace. Then click on Generative Fill. In the, well, rather small text box that appears, type what you would like to see in the selected area of your photo.
Let's add some jewelry to her. Please don't judge me. So let's make a selection. And I think with this dress, a pearl necklace would go nice. Pearl necklace. Generate. There you go. It just looks fantastic. Let's add some muscles to him. Give AI enough space to create the muscles, but leave the hands the way it is. And also, we'll just create a selection like that. Let's type in male bodybuilder. I tried typing just bodybuilder and I cannot tell you the things I generated. That is nice. Look at the lighting. You can go to Adobe Firefly Web right here. I'll leave a link in the description and just click on Generative Fill and you can try it online. You can erase from here. You can change the background by clicking right here and then maybe just type forest. And there you go. We have a lighthouse in the forest. Absolutely practical. So let's say you want to upload it to Instagram, but you don't want to crop anything. So press C for the crop tool. Select square from right here, aspect ratio. Hold the Alt key or the Option key and just expand it. Just like this. So with the rectangular marquee tool, I'm going to make a selection at the top, leave a little bit of the meat, get into the meat of it, tofu of it, and click on Generative Fill, click on Generate.
A lot of people had been asking where you can find Photoshop beta and how to access Generative Fill. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you where to find it and how to install it. First thing you need to do is purchase Photoshop and install it. If you need to update it, make sure to update, or you can go here to the updates, click on it. For example, in my situation, I had the Photoshop beta already installed, but I didn't have the Generative Fill option because I had to update Photoshop beta. So I had to go here to the updates and update it here, Photoshop and Photoshop beta as well. Now, in order to find Photoshop beta, you can go to categories here, go down to the beta apps, click on it, and here you're gonna find a lot of apps in beta version. So as you can see, I already have Photoshop and Illustrator installed. All you need to do is just install Photoshop and click on open, and it's gonna show up like this.
For some reason, if your Generative Fill is deactivated or if the button is grayed out or you cannot see it, here's troubleshooting.
So I put together this list of 5 things that if you're not seeing the Generative Fill features in your beta, these are the things you need to try.
Watch this. Let's just select this, come up here to crop, and now we have an image that's really tall and narrow. Let's go ahead and expand this back to where it used to be. Now using the marquee tool, I've selected all of the white. I'm going to come up here to Generative Fill. I'm not going to hit anything. I'm just going to hit Generate. I mean, can you tell what image is the original image? And even if you can, does it matter anymore? Like, I mean, these are totally acceptable. Let's zoom into 100%. You can see the shallow depth of field here. I can't see any of the edges of where this created fake pixels. I don't even know if I'm looking at the right image. All right, here's a crazy dried up riverbed that I took in Curacao. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. Now, I've seen some people say once you make your selection, you want to go to feather and you want to add some level of feathering. Let's do 5 pixels. Let's go up to Generative Fill and hit Generate. Now, this one actually seems like it would be easier than a face, but I don't know what to expect. If you need a horizontal image instead of a vertical image, maybe this would be the answer. It's one thing to use AI generators and to create art that's not. I'm going to flip this on and off. And now as you look at this, you can say, oh, I can tell where the borders are. But if I turn this on and then say, draw where you think the edges are, I don't know that you could do that. All right, here's an image we have from one of the very first F-Stoppers videos we ever did. Let's see if we can actually put clothes back on the model. I'm going to come up here and hit Select Subject. I'll go ahead and just subtract her head off of this selection just in case. Let's go ahead and expand the selection by, let's do it by 8 pixels since a sweater would be a little bit less form-fitting. And now let's come up here and type in gray turtleneck sweater. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That looks really good. Her arm position's changing? What in the world? Look at that. I think that one's the best. Gosh, that's pretty good. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. Something like that. There is no way it's going to be able to do this. Now, as I turn this on and off, there are some weird artifacts. Like, this looks very sloppy. There's not nearly as much detail.
Making sure to overlap just a little into the original. Then in the contextual menu bar, clicked on Generative Fill, and without adding any text prompts at all, just clicked on Generate. Now this is real time, so you can see how long it takes for the AI to look at the contents of the portrait and start to pull together and build the new area on the side that matches not just with the content, but the colour, the shadows, the lighting, the whole thing. And this takes roughly 15 seconds, if that. Now it's finished, we have 3 results to choose from, but I think I'm going to go with the second one. Yeah, I think that looks best. I could of course click on Generate again to get 3 more variations and keep doing that until I'm completely happy. Now though, let's do the other side. So I grab the crop tool and extend it outwards. Then make a selection with the rectangular marquee tool, making sure to overlap a little on the original, and then press Generative Fill and Generate. Again, the artificial intelligence looks at the image and then starts to think about what it needs to make to build this area and match the contents, the lighting, the colour and the shadows. And after a short while later, here is the result. One I would have no issues displaying in my portfolio whatsoever because I posed, lit and captured the portrait of the farmer. The rest is editing. This next picture is a portrait I took of my friend Nathan Black, which was taken in an old sports club and was composed like this because the flooring did not look good and I only had a background that was big enough to go behind him, not on the floor as well. But check this out. In Photoshop, I used the crop tool to extend the lower portion of the photo. Then with the rectangular marquee tool, make a selection of that new area, overlapping just a little bit on the original picture, and then click on Generative Fill and Generate. Now this I find even more mind-blowing because Generative Fill kind of knows that this is a stool, so it continues the legs so they're a bit longer, but then also adds in the bottom too. And there you go. I mean, come on, look at that. Incredible. It's continued the legs of the stool, added the floor, but look at the lighting. It's actually matched the shadows on the legs to the lighting on Nathan coming in from the left. That is insane. A friend of mine gave me a photograph that was incredibly special to him. A picture of him, his wife and his children. He asked if there was any way I could fix it as it had stuck to the glass of the original frame it was in, and when they'd taken it out, it had pulled off a chunk of the picture. Now I've blurred their faces out just for this video, but this here is the photograph he gave me. So having scanned it, opened it in Photoshop, I then made a loose selection of the area to repair and just clicked on Generative Fill and Generate. And this is what it did. Now I have also cleaned the image up really quickly using the new Remove tool, which is incredible, and also adjusted the colours by diving into Camera Raw. I then enlarged the photo using Topaz Gigapixel, which I love, and then printed it.
In this tutorial, I want to show you a step-by-step process where I'm going to take this image you see on the screen and I'm going to turn it into this image. Wow, Let's get started. Let's go right over to this image right here. This is my base image. There are no other layers. I'm going to start here with the basics. Check this out. The 3 dots here, you can pin your bar position into any location on your screen. I really like this feature. Notice that the bar here for Generative Fill comes with a variety of tools that you have easy access to. Let's get started. I've made my selection. I'm going to now do a Generative Fill. In this case, I'm going to enter in some simple text. Let's put in classic car from the 50s. Just like this. That's it. You just type that in and select Generate. It will now give us examples of generated cars. Let's take a look at the variations it's given us. And we're going to notice right off that it's added a shadow and it's placed the car right on the plane here in the salt flats. Okay, we've placed a car onto my own photograph. Now I want to show you an incredible feature. Check this out. I'm going to make another selection with the lasso tool. I'm going to make it right up close to the car. I'm going to swing around, selecting a large area. Once again, I simply go to Generative Fill here. And let's type in reflection pool filled with blue water. That sounds great. Nice and simple, straightforward expressions. And then let's generate. Because I've made a new selection, it's going to create a new generative layer here, right over here to the right. It will then process this. Let's look at the variations of this pool. Wow, look at that. I think it's this first pool. I want to point out something that's incredible here. Look how it's taken the salt flat texture and detail and created a pond within the same texture and detail as the surrounding salt flats. It even has created a shadow here on the edge, and it's given this reflection where I can see underneath the car because of the angle in the water would allow us to see under the car in this position. Okay, I want to add one more thing to the sky. Right over here, I'm going to go in and make a selection. I'm not going to center the selection. I'm going to make it right there. I want to add a cloud. Let's see what happens here. We're going to go to Generate, and we're going to put in Cloud. I'm going to select Generate. Again, a new layer is created. Perfect. I wanted a cloud that goes off the edge of the image area. To finish this all off, the grand finale that will really blow your mind is I'm going to expand the canvas. With the crop tool, I'm going to go and stretch it out and make a panorama. I'm now going to zoom back out a bit. Then I'm going to hold down my Option key on my Macintosh, and I'm going to stretch this out, just like this. Go way out, right there. Then I'm going to double click. I'm going to make a selection of the work area that we have right here. Now, using the tools here, I can invert the selection. That's the convenience of having these tools right here. So now I've selected the background area and I want to fill it. Get ready, here we go. I'm going to close down my properties menu right now so I can see the entire image. And I'm going to select Generative Fill. This time, I'm not going to enter anything in. I'm going to leave it blank and let the AI technology determine what is outside the boundary region. And there it is right there. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the sun has appeared. It has calculated the position of the sun. Unbelievable. There you have it, some of the basics and really amazing features found here in Adobe Photoshop and Generative.
The Generative Fill in Photoshop is amazing, but it has a powerful feature I don't see many people talking about, and that is the intensity in which the generated pixels are created. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Start by entering the quick mask mode. you can click on this icon or press the Q key on the keyboard. The quick mask mode allows you to paint selections. Then you can fill with black. Black is my background color, so I'll press Ctrl and backspace. Nothing is selected, that's what the red overlay indicates. Now I'm gonna go into the foreground color picker and I'm going to select white, which is a brightness of 100%. So this is going to generate pixels at 100% intensity. And with the brush tool, I'm going to drag and paint. When I press the Q key to exit the quick mask, you'll see the selection. Then under Generative Fill, I'm just going to type the word fish. And we generated a fish, no surprise, but here's the tip that not a lot of people know. If you press the Q key again and fill with black, but this time you set the brightness to 40% to paint with that dark gray, we're going to apply the Generative Fill at 40% intensity. This is not opacity, this is intensity. I'm gonna paint from left to right, press the Q key again. This selection will not be visible because Photoshop only displays the marching ants if the pixels are selected more than 50%. And in this case, we only selected 40%, so the selection is invisible. You might also get this warning letting you know what I just described, but don't worry if you don't see the selection, it's still there. Next, go into Generative Fill and do the same thing. Type the word fish and click on Generate. And now we get a fish that looks like it's deeper in the ocean because of the lowered intensity on the fill, creating the illusion of lowered opacity. And here's one more tip for you. I'll press the Q key again, fill with black, and this time I'll paint with white on top at 100% brightness. Then I'll change the brightness to 50%, press OK, and continue painting down. Press Q to exit the quick mask mode, only the top part will show with the marching ants. Again, because that part was painted with over 50% brightness and everything below was painted with 50% or less brightness, which doesn't show in the selection, but it's still there. Then I'll click on Generative Fill and type the word fish and generate. And this creates the illusion that the fish is jumping out of the water, but the bottom part is obstructed by the water and it has more depth. And in case you're wondering, this is what it looks like with 100% opacity over the entire image.
Once you're in the Photoshop beta, you'll notice this new floating taskbar here. It's called the contextual taskbar. If you can't see it, come up to the main menu and select Window, Contextual Taskbar to enable it. Now you can either use the quick buttons to auto-magically select the subject in your image or remove the background, or simply use the usual selection tools to select the part of the image that you want to replace. Then click on Generative Fill. In the, well, rather small text box that appears, type what you would like to see in the selected area of your photo. For example, let's type beautiful hiking trail, Annapurna Trek Scenic Mountains, and then hit Generate. Photoshop will now generate 3 potential image inserts for you that you can then cycle through via the arrow buttons. In your layers window, you will also see a new generative layer that contains the actual generated overlay. If you're happy, you can simply move on, or you can give the generation a thumbs up or down to feedback to the Adobe AI. If you want more options, you can modify the text prompt and then click Generate again, and the process repeats to give you a further 3 options to choose from. In my opinion, Generative Fill is much more powerful than Content-Aware Fill, as it's not trying to fill the selected area by deriving pixels from the surrounding areas, but it actually generates new image data to fit into the selected area instead. Now, this doesn't work perfectly all the time. Not all generated options will match. Sometimes you can work around that by simply filling in a little bit more than you need to and cleaning up the edges or adjusting the color a little bit to blend the overlay into the image. Sometimes you just need to generate a new set of options or tweak your text prompt. Sometimes you get this strange error telling you that Photoshop didn't actually understand what you wanted it to generate. Or that, like me, you just can't spell English. Also, note that you can't really generate any fantasy elements. The AI is very much trained to things that you'd actually see in the real world. But even in its current form, Generative Fill is a really powerful new feature, and I'm really excited for it to become part of the official Photoshop release, hopefully with the next major version.
So here's photo 1 in layer 1 and here's photo 2 in layer 2. We want AI to create a bridge between these photos, but before we do that, for best results, match the lighting. Have a look at it. The lighting is coming from the right hand side in this mountain, but in this mountain, the light is coming from the left hand side. So let's flip it, select photo 2, press Ctrl or Command T, right click on it, and then choose Flip Horizontal. Now to fill it, press Ctrl or Command A to select all, and then subtract these areas. How do we do that? Select the rectangular marquee tool right there, hold the Alt key or the Option key to turn it to minus, and then let's take away these areas. Leave a little bit of the meat for the AI to grab upon. There you go, and simply click on Generative Fill. We're going to leave it blank. Click on Generate. As you can see, it did a terrible job. If you look at all the options, first one, second one, third one, because the sky right here was white. Let's go back to how it was right here. Let's also add the sky to the filling. So with the rectangular marquee tool, this time we will hold the Shift key to add to the fill. Let's fill up the sky, and now let's try Generative Fill one more time. And there you go, much better than before. First option, second option, and third one. This is just amazing. Maybe I will make a selection right here and fill up that area again, but apart from that, that's how to combine photos with AI. For some reason, if your Generative Fill is deactivated or if the button is grayed out or you cannot see it, here's troubleshooting.
So I put together this list of 5 things that if you're not seeing the Generative Fill features in your beta, these are the things you need to try.
Go through it if you're having issues, and thanks to Terry White from Adobe for putting this up. He has incredible content on generative AI as well, so please do check it out on his YouTube channel. By the way, if you're using a Captain Jack Sparrow version of Photoshop and you really want to try Generative Fill, you can go to Adobe Firefly Web right here. I'll leave a link in the description and just click on Generative Fill and you can try it online. You can erase from here, you can change the background by clicking right here, and then maybe just type forest. And there you go. We have a lighthouse in the forest. Absolutely practical. So let's say you want to upload it to Instagram, but you don't want to crop anything. So press C for the crop tool. Select square from right here, aspect ratio. Hold the Alt key or the Option key and just expand it. Just like this. So with the rectangular marquee tool, I'm going to make a selection at the top, leave a little bit of the meat, get into the meat of it, tofu of it, and click on Generative Fill, click on Generate. Have a look at the options. So here's the first one. This looks a little odd. Here's the second one. That is amazing. Here's the third one. If you're not satisfied, you can always generate again or try some prompts. This is much better. And that's how you expand images. What a beautiful image. But we wonder, what if someone or something else was carrying her? For it, let's make a selection of the thing you want to remove or modify. Now you can take the time to make your selection. I have already done it and saved it in channel. So let me quickly load that. And now let's fill it with maybe a chimpanzee. Click on Generate. That's not bad. Look at the lighting. It's matching so much. First, second, that's good. Here's the third. Wow, what is he wearing? Teletubbies. The eyes are a little off. So let's make a selection around the face right here. Click on Generative Fill and chimpanzee face. Not too bad, not too bad. First one, second one, third one. Second one is okay. And there you go. Isn't that an interesting image? Now it is hard to decide who to remove. I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I'm really jealous of this guy. So let's do that. Make a selection around him and you don't have to fill anything. Generative Fill, click on that and generate. There you go. Our wishes are fulfilled. Here's the first one. Here's this. Oh, that's nice. The hand is messed up though. Here's this third one. Seriously, the hand is messed up again. Under thing that he's wearing into a formal shirt. Formal shirt. Generate. And it has done a pretty good job. First one, second one. Oh, that's nice. Now this can be a very fun project to try. You can just keep on expanding an image and keep going and see how that goes. So simply press C for the crop tool and let's expand it a little bit. Hit OK. Control or Command A to select all, and with the rectangular marquee tool, hold the Alt key or the Option key and subtract this area. And fill up the outside areas with a Generative Fill. And keep on doing that and see what opens up. So here's the first one, the second one, the third one, all of them are nice. Once you pick one, do it again, press C again, expand it again, and Control or Command A, take the rectangular marquee tool and subtract this area. Leave a little gap, click on Generative Fill. One more time. No hair, no worries. Generative Fill to the rescue if you want the hair. So right here, give it enough space for the AI to work on and then type in what you want. Here, I want a bit of flowing hair. Click on Generate. Oh, that's nice. It looks like mine, but better. Here's the first one, second one, third one. Pretty good styles, and that suits him. Let's add some jewelry to her. Please don't judge me. So let's make a selection. And I think with this dress, a pearl necklace would go nice. Pearl necklace. Generate. There you go. It just looks fantastic. Let's add some muscles to him. Give AI enough space to create the muscles, but leave the hands the way it is. And also, we'll just create a selection like that. Let's type in male bodybuilder. I tried typing just bodybuilder, and I cannot tell you the things I generated. That is nice. Look at the lighting. But still, looks like a wax toy, but no skin texture. But the lighting, it's good. Now, this is something that we can work with, and there are a couple of areas that we need to fix, and we are both thinking and know the areas that we need to fix. But apart from that, this is good. This is good. This is actually something we can work with. Now, don't make him look like he skipped leg day. So make sure you select these areas and generate bodybuilder legs as well.